Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Treya Tarot. This is the collective reading for February 7th to February 9th, 2025. I have already started this reading a couple of times, as you can see, and I'm having a little difficulty. How do I say this? I'm having a little difficulty translating how I'm feeling from the cards that are coming up into the words, into the words that express them or express those feelings. So I'm going to try this again. This is your weekend read, and we're starting with these four. This is the Morgan-Greer Tarot, which has reversals in it. Today I'm reading the reversals as though the upright meanings are the antidote to the situation. This came from a book that I was listening to about tarot and uprights versus reversals. I don't normally read with reversals, so this might be a little different, but you have seen it on the channel once or twice before if you've followed me for a little while. If you like these readings, please like, comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload something new. Okay, so let's see what we can glean from today's story, right? The sun is about illumination. It's about truth coming out. It's about seeing the truth. It's about having anything that might have been hidden visible. Okay. It's also a card, as you can see, of the couple facing each other. It's also a card of fair and equal partnership, where both people are completely aware of what's really happening and completely honest with their part. So there's kind of like this dualistic connotation here. This could be about partnerships, but this could also be about what it's like to see the truth in other people and to allow that to be a warming, healing influence as opposed to being a problem. The reason I bring that up is because of the Five of Pentacles reversed. The Five of Pentacles upright is a card of feeling out in the cold. It's a card of feeling wounded. Literally, this is, a wounded man in the arms of a woman who's presumably a healer. The sun comes in to actually overturn this wound. So it seems like there's a truth that actually comes in to heal something we've been carrying with us that affects our sense of stability or our sense of warmth in the world, sense of isolation in the world. Temperance reversed tells me that this wound is something that's really destabilized the people I'm reading for, or the collective that I'm reading for here. And the Eight of Pentacles tells me that, how do I say this? The Eight of Pentacles tells me that the work that has been invested so far into healing that wound may not have produced much actual effect, because the actual need was to experience the opposite situation in the environment so as to heal the wound, so as to open up that protected space that might have been too guarded before. This Eight of Pentacles tells me very clearly that the way we are about to experience healing is not from our own force of will, but maybe more so from the natural consequences of what it's like to be in an environment where we are safe, warm, cared for, happy. The Two of Wands reversed. Interesting too. That card is traditionally upright, a card of courage and choice. So the choice has been made already. It just seems like it's something that hasn't actually been said. The thing about the Two of Wands upright again is that there's help of an unknown origin offered. Reversed, it tells me that there might be a rejection of community here, even though that's dearly the opportunity that is needed, I guess. I want to say it that way. It feels to me like a stalling has occurred here that will soon pick up its pace, okay? The Eight of Rods is all about fast forward movement. All Rods cards, all Wands cards are about movement, but they're also about creativity, passion, fiery elements. So think Leo, Sag, and Aries. The Page of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Swords reversed. This is how this feels to me. it feels to me like the shadow side of two aspects of this story. The side that is considering reality and the side that is considering belief systems or ideas, concepts, self-concept, anxieties, thoughts, etc., are going to come to a meeting point of some kind. So it may be that two people or two groups of people are coming to some strange middle meeting point very quickly, in fact, where they'll have to decide how to get past the differences that are present in these two cards as reversals, okay? So the Page of Pentacles, the belief that stability exists, the consideration of how stability can be created, what foundations are built from, what resources are needed, how we work for what we need and want. Coming to, or rather the shadow aspect of that, coming to confrontation with the shadow aspect of, I will do this myself. I will fight no matter how do I say this? No matter how outlandish my belief system is. The Knight of Swords reversed. There's a stubbornness there by truth. There's a stubbornness there, but there's a stubbornness and a swift, potentially destructive moving force there. But it's a mentally destructive quality. It's not necessarily that the Knight of Swords moves in to destroy a situation. The Knight of Swords moves in with self-destruction to confront the Page of Pentacles reversed, which is essentially I don't know if this can happen. I don't know if this can be built. This thing that I need seems too far away or too, unable to be created. King of Swords reversed. Two of Cups. Okay, so Five of Cups. Queen of Cups. Very interesting. Okay, so on a relational level, if this is a relationship reading for someone out there, the King of Swords is upright, moving in a very distinct direction forward, potentially aggressively, towards something that they believe is real and true for them and right. Correct? So, reversed, there's doubt. There's movement towards something that inherently provides doubt. And the problem here is that what's being centered as the doubting force here is something that's actually really well balanced. So there's definitely in these three cards here the fear of loss implied, right? But if you see the Two of Cups here in the reality, and then the Two of Cups behind the querent who's lost something, okay? Essentially, what is open to us over the next 3 or 4 days is the opportunity to turn back on a self-concept that is no longer getting us the results we're asking for. On a collective level, it may be a renegotiation of our identities as well, both as a group, as a collective, and as people in partnerships with others, whether they're friendships or romantic relationships. That's, doesn't really matter. Partnerships show up in a certain way. Because it's the Two of Cups, these are profound relationships. These are things that matter to us on a deep level. So what we have here is the coming into contact with both the reality, the Sun, the reality of the reciprocal relationship, because the Two of Cups is the reciprocity that we need, and the fear of the loss, even though we have this reciprocal experience actually occurring, directly confronting what we think we may want to create in the future, what steps we want to take forward, how we see our foundations, how we see our belief systems. So there's this kind of rumbling in this reading that while it ends in my opinion, even though I haven't pulled the end yet, it ends in this intuitive push towards the truth, the Sun and the Queen of Cups. There's still this moment of, I don't know if I can see this through, or I don't know if this is the right path for me. However, there is this implication that the only way through the senses of loss that we are all, most all, carrying forward into our, lives each moment is directly healed by the softness that the Queen provides, the flow, the understanding that she provides. So the Queen of Cups provides a sense of like, I can hold this much depth. I can contain this much feeling without being afraid of losing my ground because of my external circumstances. I can contain this much love. I can remember the past, but still remember what I have standing with me. I can stop my stubbornness and move into my flow, my actual heart-centered, stable, steady flow. Yeah. Ten of Swords upright, Queen of Pentacles upright, and then the Knight of Wands or Rods reversed. Oh, interesting. Okay. So the cycle is essentially all about the way we believe pain occurs, or the ways in which we believe that we will always get hurt in the end. Many people carry that wounding around. The Ten of Swords is about self-inflicted perpetuation of a wound that is no longer applicable. So I'm going to say this. The most beautiful thing about the Ten of Swords is that there's light. The dawning is happening, and you can see that in the pale blue, the pale blue narrow edge here behind the swords. It's the sun is rising. Okay. So this is not what's happening anymore. We are not in perpetual cycles of constant pain. That's not what's going on. What's happening is we are building our foundations and our security from within, Queen of Cups. So when we are presented with something that looks fleeting, we know what to do. Wish fulfillment, contentment, transformation, and the Page of Swords reversed. That's interesting. The Page of Swords reversed is interesting for me because it feels like we're left after this sort of revelation or this epiphany or this realization of what we can stop doing now, so that we can get out of our own way. We are left with this sort of loss for words, or loss of words, where we don't necessarily have the expression to explain where we're headed next. That Page of Swords reversed tells me that there's this fundamental change that maybe we don't have a way to express yet because we have never seen it before. And that change is now finding its home within us on maybe a spiritual, or I want to say human level, but I mean human, emotional, and spiritual level, meaning within us, within our way of viewing things, within our perceptions and perspectives. So when we finally get what we want, what do we do if we don't know how to identify it? And that's the question that I get left with. Interesting. We leave behind what we used to think was stability and comfort. Yeah. Oh, seeing past the heartbreak. This is quite a process. We're all leaving something behind this month, I believe, but I'm not sure it's the thing we think we're leaving behind. I feel like we may be leaving something altogether worn out and old for each of us involved, or each of us resonating with this storyline right now. But it's because we really, really need to see past the part of us that believes we're just never going to get out of the pain. The Three of Swords is about seeing the silver lining. It's about seeing past your own negative wiring, your own mental... How do I say this? I don't know what the word is for that, but there's this mental quality of being able to, distract and degrade ourselves because we don't want to admit that maybe we're not seen the way we think we are by other people. So there is actually a healing here in walking away from something, one story or one experience, and moving into a reciprocal experience with some other situation or some other part of our lives. There is absolutely an external aspect to this, but it's because we've chosen to see it, even if we can't describe it. I hope everybody has a good weekend. And if you feel so inclined, please leave me a comment and let me know how you're doing, or if this applies to you, how it's applying to you. I love sharing with everybody on that level. This is good, even though it looks a little sticky, but it's good. It's good because it's change. And it's change that leaves us better off than where we first were when we started. This is the kind of change that brings a sense of inner strength and consistency, because we're willing to finally show up, like really show up for ourselves and others. But it's because, it's primarily because we leave behind what we used to think was solid or reliable. So I'm not necessarily telling people they should leave behind their foundations. What I'm saying is there is an aspect of this that could feel really destabilizing, except it's necessary, or it looks necessary, in an effort to see past this process of repeated pain. Not all of our situations will end up the same as the previous ones. We are finally at that point where we're going to get to experience that, potentially collectively, which is going to be quite an experience, I have to say, because it means we have to come to terms with things as they are instead of as we wish they were, or as we think they are, if we tend to lean towards the negative, mental realities. So, all right, well, have a good weekend. And if this helped in any way, please leave me a comment and tell me, because sometimes I feel like I'm throwing this out into the void, which doesn't bother me all that much, but, community matters to all of us on some level, right? So, all right. I'll see you soon. Have a good weekend.